Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul joined alongside Jack Weinberger, a Friday Junior show.
Raise your glasses, baby. Raise your glasses.
Cheers.
I forgot the Friday Junior shirt, unfortunately.
Yingling Flights. I've never had one of these before.
Yeah, neither have I.
I'm not sure if this is a special type of Yingling. It has to be, right? Yingling Flight?
Yeah. It's a different color bottle, too.
It's pretty good. No Ziggy today. Ziggy was caught up in a bunch of different interviews and things like that at UVA. And it was pretty funny because right before we started, I looked over at Jack. And when we're recording now, you know, in a big basement here, we got the bar scene behind us. And normally we have Ziggy on the television in front. Zach's over here producing. Maybe someone else will be around in the room. But tonight, it is just me and Jack sitting next to each other, staring into this camera, not even looking at each other, talking for half the conversation. And we're like, man, this is actually kind of weird.
Like, I mean, no one else is down here, and we're just having our basic conversations like we usually do, but this time just staring not at each other.
That's the thing. If we were at a table where
we'd just be looking at each other.
If we were at a table where we were looking at each other, or at least the old table that we had, kind of on an angle where I don't have to turn to look at you. It's a little different when we're just staring in front of this thing. So
to go, hey, Paul, like, how's it going, man?
Isn't it funny how Ziggy's not here? We immediately break down and be unprofessional, just talking about camera angles and stuff like that.
Hey,
he's the glue.
He's the glue. He keeps us together. Keeps us on track.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. As we always say, we're trying to get to 10,000 by the start of the draft. Had a really fun week with all the breaking free agency news. NFC North had a huge week between the Vikings, the Packers. Just massive stories all around, and a lot of people watch. So we thank everyone who's been tuning in. It was a really big week for us, which is great.
Yeah, we're almost to 9.5K subs.
Yeah, it makes you believe again. Our
goal for 10K by the draft looking very good.
Yeah, I think we're going to get it. We're going to get
that. Looks probable.
So we have a few topics today we'll hit on, and then a mailbag. And we're probably going to release an NFC North mailbag separate, since so many of the questions we get are related to the NFC North. But why don't we start here, Jack? And this was so good. I'm sitting in my bed the other day, just, refreshing my phone. And all of a sudden I come across Aaron Rodgers potentially running for vice president alongside RFK.
I was watching, I forget what show it was today. It was on ESPN. Maybe Pardon My Take, or PTI, Pardon the Interruption. It's one of those shows. And one of the topics was RFK, if he was president, would choose either Aaron Rodgers or someone else. I'm like, what?
it's like a pipe dream, right?
I kind of like
not a pipe dream, but it's unbelievable.
I rub my eyes. I'm like, am I reading that correctly? Aaron Rodgers is vice president of the United States.
When that flashed across my phone, and all, I'm working in sports media, and we had shows that we were going to do later in the day. So all the producers are blowing up the phone saying, like, are you guys seeing this story? I started laughing out loud. I went upstairs to my dad and I said, Dad, you have no idea who RFK is thinking about as his vice president. Like, no, I said, this will blow you away. And he starts guessing random people. He's like, Ben Shapiro, or came out. A bunch of different people, at least politically oriented came out. And then I think my mom goes, Tom Brady. I was like, close. That's really close. And she's like, so they start guessing sports players. And finally, Aaron Rodgers comes up. And I was just like, Aaron Rodgers running for, just think about Aaron Rodgers running for vice president. Imagine him in a political debate.
Well, look, like, God forbid something then were to happen to,
if he wanted
to the president. Aaron Rodgers is the president of the United States.
The thought of Aaron Rodgers being the president of the country. Now, look, RFK is not going to win. I'm barring something unbelievable. But
they'd be like a 16 in the NCAA tournament.
But just imagine Aaron Rodgers retiring from football to run for vice president.
Yeah, imagine him up on stand in front of a lot of people debating somebody in a political
I didn't
debate.
realize. Now, I've heard all these stories over the years about Aaron Rodgers. We've seen them come out. And really, if you dive back into the history of Rodgers' playing career now and look at some of the stories that have come up, there's always rumors about Aaron Rodgers, and he says ridiculous things. I actually find him to be wildly entertaining. I know people hate him, but I find him to be wildly entertaining. The more you look back, you're kind of like,
he might just be nuts.
He might just be out of his mind.
He might be crazy.
He might be out of his mind. I was looking here. He said the Sandy. If I'm wrong on any of this, I apologize. So I just want to say, from what I'm seeing, he was saying that, like, the Sandy Hook shooting is fake. He saw Pamela Brown from CNN at a post-Kentucky Derby party, and he said it was a government inside job that the media was intentionally ignoring, that everyone was actors.
I mean, he has...
And like these multiple people have said this, so Rodgers hasn't come out and denied it. It's just, something like that.
He has his theories. Yes.
Deshaun Kaiser said when he saw him for the first time, I think it was the first time, Rodgers was like, do you believe in 9/11? And Deshaun Kaiser was like, I mean, obviously I believe in 9/11. And Rodgers goes, you should read up on that.
That's
know what's nuts though is Kaiser.
I didn't know any of this.
No, I mean Kaiser later in that interview said, he goes, oh, inner Earth, moon landing, reptile people, y'all are laughing. Go do your research. I'm telling you, go do your... He may have convinced Deshaun Kaiser.
Well, there was that one, this reminds me of that one Utah college player at the Combine who said he doesn't believe in space. Doesn't believe that there's other planets. He only believes in Earth.
I mean, your dad is a hollow Earth advocate.
No, that's not my dad.
He's joking.
That was the Utah kid. That was not my dad.
I thought your dad was a hollow Earth guy.
No, there's a Utah college player at the NFL Combine.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a ton of
who said he doesn't believe there's other planets in our solar system. He doesn't believe in Mars.
Oh
or Jupiter
yeah,
Venus.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't.
That reminds me of something. There's these Rodgers takes.
Aaron Rodgers though. I still think he's gonna be good this year. Actually, when he comes back,
I think we'll be too.
But isn't that crazy that it's almost, we're not a political podcast, because if me and you were talking politics, people would be dumbed down to a degree.
We'd have 0 subs.
Yeah. The conversation would just be so horrible. But when you think about the fact that people are rooting for Rodgers to run for vice president for the humor of it, and then you really sit back and think to yourself, wait a second, this is like the presidential election of the United States of America.
It would be a joke.
And we're talking about Aaron Rodgers running for fun against Donald Trump and his team.
There would be no difference between like me and Aaron Rodgers. Like me and Aaron Rodgers being a VP, there's probably no difference.
No, there's no difference. No, you would be a better candidate because Aaron Rodgers thinks that like things like the moon landing are fake. Things along that line. Not that. I don't know if he believes in that one, but it's just I just saw that and it was laughing out loud.
Oh, me too.
What would you say? Aaron Rodgers, we said, from Packer great to the next great U.S. leader.
Yeah, Packer great to president.
I mean, look, maybe he's a genius. Remember, he fooled the whole media with the with the COVID vaccine.
Look, if he's VP one day, we'll see. Maybe he's fit for the role.
What did he say he was? He didn't say he got vaccinated. He said he...
Right, what was that? He said he got...
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Like some special...
immunized.
Yeah, but
it's immunized.
Like some special
he did like his own like herbal treatments or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, that was absurd.
The darkness. Although, I'll say the darkness retreat, I would be curious to try that. I know that that's insane, but I think a darkness retreat, who am I talking about?
He might be a lunatic.
It sounds nuts.
I think he's a lunatic. I really do think he's a lunatic.
He would be on my list of people that I'd want to go grab a beer with in the NFL, though. Just to see what it's like.
And just talk to him.
Yeah.
Like, get his thoughts on
things. I think he's an
things.
interesting guy.
Yeah, it seems like a nice guy, too. But still
maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
He seems a little weird, but I want to get his opinions and his thoughts on things for sure.
Ziggy's off the show, and we open the first, 10 minutes just talking about Aaron Rodgers. Nothing to do with the NFL. Nothing to do.
People will listen to this stuff. People are interested.
I mean... Look, our biggest audience is Packers fans, and they know Aaron Rodgers better than anyone. The best part about this whole thing is, that the Packers are sitting back going like, oh, we told you he's nuts. And they're watching this whole thing unravel with Jordan Love now, future superstar. Aaron Rodgers is pretending to run for vice president, and they got the pick from the Jets too. Green Bay's sitting back just laughing at this entire thing.
Yeah, they're lounging back.
Well, they always
feet up, laughing at everybody. Yeah,
it just always works out for them. It's pretty funny. Okay, let's go on to some actual football here. So Derrick Henry signs a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Ravens, worth up to $20 million. Derrick Henry is someone that I've always had an affinity for. I don't know why, because I don't watch him that often. He's in the AFC. My attention's normally on the NFC North teams during the week. I've never actually had him in fantasy football before. I've always wanted him. And then this year, falls into my lap, and I decided to take Travis Kelce instead. But for some reason, I've always wanted to root for and watch Derrick Henry. I just very rarely do it. Also, the Titans aren't good. So when I see him go to Baltimore, I'm a little excited because the Ravens I watched, because when we were younger, I used to watch the Ravens and Steelers all the time, it's just for the sake of going into school and having ammunition.
Yeah, you'd probably
at
root
lunch.
for Baltimore.
Oh,
right?
huge! I was a huge Ravens fan.
I used to root for Green Bay.
I was a huge Ravens fan. That's messed up, man. No one should root for Green Bay. But anyway, Derrick Henry, 30 years old right now, and if you look at the carries that he's had, Jack, over the past 5 years here per season, 303 in 2019, 378 in 2020, 219 he got injured in 2021. In the last 2 years, 349 carries and 280 carries. Everyone argues every season about the wear and tear on Derrick Henry's body, which has to have an effect at some point. He's had 1,529 carries since 2019. The second most in the NFL is Josh Jacobs at 1,305. It's like a season's worth of carries difference for Derrick Henry. But somehow he keeps chugging along, went for about 1,200 yards last year and 12 touchdowns. And this is a nice opportunity for him where A, he can compete for a championship with a really good team. B, he's not going to be relied on nearly as much. I mean, he carried that Titans offense.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, I think he's the perfect piece to complement Lamar Jackson and Keaton Mitchell. I think it's a great move for Baltimore.
I mean, you look at you go back to my running backs don't matter take, and he's another.
Oh well, here we go.
He's another counter to that. But what he did in Tennessee just a couple of short years ago, like what that team did with a very average quarterback in Ryan Tannehill, they led the NFL for a couple of years in red zone production.
Efficiency,
like scoring touchdowns in the red zone, yards per play. He single-handedly took that team to the postseason and made that team relevant. And now in Baltimore, a team who loves to run the football, a team who attacks you on the ground. You have Lamar. Now you get the best back in the NFL. That's going to be a super, super, super dangerous team and tough offense to stop. I mean, I do also think Lamar, if he can get a little bit more with the arm, Zay Flowers now in his second year, Mark Andrews healthy, this is going to be an unstoppable team.
It's in the red zone. Think about how many ways Baltimore can get you with. Let's say you come out there, you have Keaton Mitchell, Lamar, and Derrick Henry. You could go power, you could go speed, you could throw it up to a guy like Mark Andrews. You got Zay Flowers on the outside. I mean, yeah, you're right. The offense is already really good. You just have to hope if you can get a little more juice out of Derrick Henry, which all signs seem to be that you should. Now you're talking about an offense which really has no weaknesses.
And Keaton Mitchell is very good. I think it's a great A and B, like kind of thunder and lightning type of thing. But
he averaged 8 yards to carry this year? It was crazy.
He was awesome. But you really now have to put probably 9 out of your 11 guys in that box with Lamar and Derrick Henry.
They ran the ball 541 times last year, most in the NFL.
You give it to Henry. Is it a read option? Does Lamar throw the ball, play action? It's going to be really difficult to stop.
Yeah, and not to mention the former MVP of the league. We didn't say Lamar. It was an MVP this season, by the way. Yeah, that has to be, at least for you as a Steelers fan, I'm imagining you were not thrilled with that signing.
Oh no, especially with Burrow coming back healthy too for the Bengals. Ravens getting Henry. No, it's been horrible.
The Jerry Jeudy to the Browns. I mean, like they're all. Yeah, you got Russ.
We did get Russ. Hopefully,
I actually kind of like this Yingling flight.
Yeah, I'm already halfway done.
Do you notice much of a difference from? This kind of just tastes like Yingling.
I'm gonna ask for one more soon. No, it tastes the exact same as Yingling.
Yingling's good though.
But Yingling's good. It's a good beer.
Let's see here. All right. Oh, I want to talk about this too. So we were texting about show topics today, and we're just going over kind of a light show. We didn't want to dive into anything too much because most of the big news happened earlier in the week. But Jack just started mentioning these rumors you were seeing online about Justin Jefferson potentially being traded and landing spots for him. And the Cincinnati Bengals, I think Tyler Eifert put out a tweet, probably joking, where he just said, sources are telling me Justin Jefferson could be on his way to Cincinnati, reuniting with his buddy Joe Burrow, his other buddy Jamar Chase.
And then Chase had that tweet. He's like, yo, what are you doing at Jay Jettis? I'm like, oh no.
Look, if the Bengals trade T. Higgins, let's say, they need a receiver. First off, let me make one thing clear. It's not going to happen. The Vikings are not trading Justin Jefferson. I don't know how many times we have to say this on this show.
I mean, that would be as unstoppable as it gets.
Oh, it would. Joe Burrow, Jefferson, and Chase is just
I mean, LSU
filthy.
2019, run it back.
Yeah, thinking about that roster sometimes, the firepower that they had.
Edwards-Helaire too.
Yeah, it's the best, arguably top 3 quarterback in the league, top 2 of the top 3 receivers in the league.
Probably 1 and 2.
Just ridiculous. But if Cincinnati was able to find a way to make that work, I don't know. I don't know how you stop them.
You wouldn't, but it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. And the reason it won't is, we said this before. When you look at the numbers that Justin Jefferson puts up, it would feel like you're trading away Jerry Rice or Randy Moss, which I guess we've done. But you're trading away one of the all-time best receivers in football. When all is said and done, if Justin Jefferson stays healthy, he'll probably be amongst the top 5 to 10 receivers in the history of the game. You can't just give that away.
What is the Vikings win total without JJ on the roster this year?
Without I think the team itself is okay, but Jefferson does make up. You gotta think that he's what, 2.5 wins maybe?
Yeah, what's that? Probably 5.5,
6.5 maybe, 6.5 without Jefferson. I mean, I think Darnold's okay. Whatever rookie comes in will probably the way that Minnesota's shaped right now with Jefferson, Hawkinson when he comes back, Addison, now Aaron Jones. I mean, that's a great offense.
But to have a receiver like that, a generational guy, is such an insane luxury.
Oh, let's say it's JJ McCarthy, who I'm not a huge fan of, but let's say JJ McCarthy comes in and has those weapons to throw to. Your life is look at Bryce Young. I know that you're not a big fan of Bryce, but if Bryce was on the Vikings, he has a much easier time adjusting to the NFL than when you're throwing to Adam Thielen, who's 33 years old. It's a different world. 100%. So they're not going to trade him. But when you think about what he could be in Cincinnati, if I were the Bengals, would you throw the kitchen sink for him?
I mean, that's a hell of a scary thought. I would. Of course, yes.
Yeah, right?
They're the Super Bowl favorite, Justin Jefferson.
I also saw the Texans.
They'd score every time they had the ball. They would not be stopped at one time.
The Texans were also mentioned.
That would be dirty too.
As all these are way out there, outlandish, but
I think the Bengals will score 50 points a game.
Yeah. Oh no, there's nothing you could do. You line up and imagine you guys go against them.
No,
you're lining up. Yeah, I don't know who's covering who.
I don't know.
Joey. There's not 2 Joey Porters. Only one.
And he couldn't even cover one.
The Texans as well, though, to make a move for a receiver. If you add Justin Jefferson to that team, you already have Danielle Hunter in free agency. I mean, they made a couple big moves. They went and got Joe Mixon. Texans are right there. The Texans are close.
Stroud, JJ.
Yeah, it's fun to think about these things. They're not going to happen.
Dalton Schultz. He's rejuvenated himself a bit.
All right, let's see. We'll go over to the mailbag here again. We're going to separate the NFC North questions from this mailbag into a different segment because there's just so many of them. Maybe we'll just do it at the end of this one because this is going to be a short podcast anyway. Okay, let's go through here. Someone says, and we'll have some comments as well. Grayson Shirley says, can the merch that will be given away during the March Madness Bracket Challenge be Ziggy's glasses?
Oh, I mean, hey.
Can you imagine a signed pair of Ziggy's glasses?
That's up to the Zigmeister himself, but I'd be for it.
I texted him. I said, hey, would you be down for this? And he was
he's probably like, no way, right?
He said if the show, Zach said if the show reimburses you, and that seemed to get his attention. So could be in line. Another one here, Ziggy's turning into a quasi celebrity.
Oh, he's a Hall of Famer.
The show. He says, Jared Gumere says, not really a question, but Ziggy kind of looks like the main McPoyle brother from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I've actually never seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Do you have your phone on you right now? Google picture of McPoyle brother.
Do you know? It's Always Sunny. You've seen it?
I Googled it this afternoon and just started laughing out loud. Maybe I'll throw up a picture here if I'm a good editor.
What is it?
McPoyle. McPoyle. McPoyle brother.
Brother?
Yeah. All right. From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I'm pulling it up. How many brothers are there? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. McPoyle brothers. This one? yeah. Okay. That's funny. I see that. Yes.
Oh, that's too good. Okay, James.
Yeah, he does. That's funny.
Here. James Library said, we'll come back to that one. NFC North here. Okay, next question. Do you think Christian McCaffrey's brother performs just as well as CMC himself? And who do you think drafts him? I have no idea who's guy. Luke McCaffrey's name.
Yeah, the Rice kid. I mean,
receiver.
Didn't he run a
quarterback
faster,
turned receiver.
Didn't he run a faster 40 than Christian?
I mean, it may have. Who cares?
No. I mean, no. Like he's not.
When you have someone of Christian McCaffrey's caliber come into the league, you can't just assume. I know the last name's going to be appealing, and I bet that the last name adds some to his draft value for sure.
Oh, for sure. But like, it's also one thing if he was playing for Alabama and lighting up the SEC as a McCaffrey, it's like, oh,
well, that's like the Watts. T.J. Watt coming out of college was a stud at Wisconsin
in the Big Ten,
and you were under the impression that this guy might be a beast. He was a first round draft pick.
A Hall of Fame running back like McCaffrey to say his brother out of Rice, no, it's ridiculous.
But
I'm sure he's
if the Vikings draft Luke McCaffrey, I'll definitely go like,
we got a McCaffrey. I'm sure he's talented. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. His dad was really good. His brother's really good.
Yeah.
The McCaffreys who are in the NFL are very good players.
Athletic family. Didn't his mom play like college basketball?
No, I'm sure she did something like that. Some of those families. Someone here says, fun question. What are your go-to sandwich / Subway builds?
I usually, I get a deli, mainly.
Yeah, deli. So if you go to Subway.
So I got a funny story, actually. I used to always get honey turkey on a round roll with lettuce and a little mayo.
God, that's so good.
Really? Yeah. But I had a turkey sandwich about 2 years ago from a good deli around here. And it was very weird. Probably no correlation. But like half hour later, I got super sick and was throwing up, dizzy, throwing up. And I haven't eaten turkey from a deli since. So now my go-to is a chicken cutlet sandwich on a roll with lettuce and a little mayo. I replace the turkey with chicken.
Would you try turkey again from a deli?
It was the most scarring experience of my life. I had vertigo. I was throwing up. It was awful. And it was like 20 minutes after I finished the sandwich, and my puke was all turkey bits. And
oh god!
I haven't eaten. Like you would understand if it happened to you. I haven't eaten turkey from a deli since.
I think you should try it again. It's so good, turkey.
It is, but no, you haven't had an experience.
I would say my go-to. I'm doing an Italian sub. And having it, oil, vinegar, the whole nine, and I'll add hot peppers to it. God, that's a good sandwich. The other one would probably be a turkey BLT.
That's my mom's
with mayo. Turkey BLT with mayo is phenomenal.
That's my mom's go-to.
There's a great sandwich called a Mexicali over here at the deli Wilkes, one of the local delis, and oh my god, that sandwich is like chicken with there's some cheese on it, like an aioli. It's so good. All right, we'll move on from Max Valentino, who's one of our members. So thank you, thank you to Max, who is a member. We have 4 members.
Is it
We'll
Maxwell?
shout all them out.
It's probably Maxwell, right? Maxwell
could be. Yeah. But Max says, how would you fix or improve the Jaguars? We don't have a lot of Jaguars questions on this show, so kind of fun to look at a team different from the NFC North, which is our most popular.
We don't get many Jag stuff. Yeah, that's right. Now the receiver probably. I mean, the receiving room's kind of light right now.
Yeah. So Max, when I look at Jacksonville, and I'm just going to assume you're a Jaguars fan if you're asking about the Jaguars. When I look at you guys, you're 8-3 last year, and we were talking about them. Ziggy was huge on Jacksonville.
We were saying number 1 seed
before and mid-season. Ziggy was saying this is a team that will compete for the 1 seed. End the year 1-5. I know there are a lot of questions around Trevor Lawrence, and his health was an issue that definitely contributed to the fall off at the end of the year. So it's strange that Jacksonville comes off this year where they have the massive playoff comeback, and then get Calvin Ridley's coming back. Expectations are through the roof. You're 8-3. Now going into this year, no one's talking about them because it was such a disaster to end the season. I think that could actually work to their advantage, where the pressure is not, and now the pressure internally is going to be high on guys like Trevor Lawrence and people like that. But I do think from the national media perspective, you don't have that pressure coming on to you. So that could help. For Jacksonville, though, you're right, Jack. They lose Calvin Ridley to the Titans. It sucks to lose him in division. And some of their big moves here this offseason, they bring in Darnell Savage, they bring in Mitch Morse, Gabe Davis and Devin Duvernay at receiver come in. Of course, the Mac Jones trade. They just got Ronald Darby, then they re-signed Josh Allen and Ezra Cleveland. So they made all those moves, which, I mean, I like most of them. I think they're good moves.
I like the Savage edition.
I always like Darnell Savage too. But the point that a lot of Jaguars fans are making, it seems like the media is all over the place on whether this is a really good or really average offseason. And Jaguars fans are coming in saying, well, we were just replacing Rayshon Jenkins at safety. We're just replacing Calvin Ridley at receiver. We're just replacing Luke Fortner at center with all these additions. And I kind of lean more towards that way, where I really think the Ridley loss is going to loom large, where Gabe Davis and Devin Duvernay don't present the same threat that you had in Ridley. So I think Jacksonville needs to get a play. They need a corner and a receiver badly. And then they need some interior, or they need some D-line help. They only had 4.5 sacks other than Josh Allen last year. So I would say focus on those areas. Get a playmaker, try and get another corner to have next to Tyson Campbell, and then improve that defensive line. And maybe you're close. I mean, the division's not crazy.
I mean, Jacksonville last year, like they still had a division shot in Week 18, did they not?
Yeah,
or at least the playoff.
Yeah, they did. They had a playoff shot because they were one of the teams that could get in over you. Yeah, they had a division shot.
Yeah, in Week 18 they had a division shot.
Oh, or no, they didn't because the Texans and Colts was basically for the division.
I mean, Week 17, like they had a division.
Yeah, I mean,
shot
no, they were
late.
there.
Like they were right there. I'm just waiting to see. Like, if you're a Jaguars fan, at this point you're a little bit starved. Like you're waiting for Trevor Lawrence to really play like what you drafted him to be at Clemson.
Well, that's one of our next questions. Actually, is related to the topic. Let me make sure that I have the person to shout out here.
And to lose Ridley too, especially not in Lawrence's case, is not good.
So Max Valentino asked how do you improve or fix the Jaguars, and then Matt Nels said, where do you think Trevor Lawrence stacks in the NFL QB picture? And do you think the Jaguars should seek out a better QB in the future if given a reasonable opportunity? And Matt, what's kind of fun about your question is it's one of the first times that I've really started to hear someone bring up the Trevor Lawrence as, oh, is this actually going to be the guy? Because when you draft someone first overall, you have a leash. I mean, a long leash. Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence, by no means do I think Trevor Lawrence should not be coming back next year to play quarterback for the Jaguars. I think he's we talked about where we ranked him last season coming into the year. I had him as the 8th best quarterback. You had him at
6.
You had him at 6. Ziggy had him at 5, 4.
4.
Yeah, Ziggy had him at 4. So this is a guy, when he's playing good, when he's playing well, he adds that elite quarterback element to your team. But at the same time, they really haven't had any success with him. This is the critical year, I think. You give him all of year 4. If they don't make the playoffs, I think there are going to be some wandering eyes in Jacksonville saying, let's see what opportunity presents itself for sure. But as of right now, I'm not even thinking about it.
No. I mean, right now he's the guy. It was just a shame to see like a year after you make the playoffs, you win the division, you win a home playoff game. We're all starting to think, okay, Lawrence is coming into this season now as a top 10 quarterback, clear cut in the NFL.
Yeah.
You wanted to see him kind of build on that and follow that up. Like he was almost there.
And to be fair, he was banged up. He was tough last year.
He was injured. Yeah, he was injured. He was banged up. Like benefit of the doubt to him there for sure. I wouldn't even start to come close to thinking yet of a replacement. Yeah, I think he's going to be fine.
I think so too.
I think he's going to be fine.
The end of the year too, Cincinnati in overtime was that's the game he got hurt. Lost that one. They lost at Cleveland versus Baltimore at Tampa. I mean, those are tough games.
Yeah.
Those are tough games.
They got blown out by Tampa.
Yeah, 30-12. That was bad.
That was bad.
So yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
This is a big season for him.
He's got to again. Even if they do the same thing though, like they just missed the playoffs and he has an up and down year, like you're probably rolling him out again, right?
I mean now, yes. I mean now all the pressure, as you said, is on Houston. If the Jags can come out and win the AFC South now, we're completely flipped again.
Let me ask you this. Would you take Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams for next season?
Trevor Lawrence.
Would you take Trevor Lawrence over Caleb Williams moving forward?
Yeah, I'd still roll with Lawrence. I haven't seen Caleb.
Like I would rather have Caleb.
I would take Lawrence. I don't like Caleb Williams.
So. No, I know, but I'd rather roll the dice on Caleb being a top 5 quarterback in the league, where Trevor Lawrence is very good and can get you top 10 quarterback play at times. But I think Caleb has that elite potential, and with Lawrence, while he's good, there's too much inconsistency. I'm rolling the dice on it. So
Okay,
maybe we'll put that out
I'd-
as a reel. It's
I'd
kind of
go-
fun.
I'd go with Lawrence.
All right, a couple more questions here. Ooh, History Nerd 8438 says top 10 quarterback list all time. That's something where
I don't even have a top 10. I don't think.
Well, what's about who is in consideration for top 5? Like you got to have Brady,
Montana, Peyton Manning.
I think you have to put Mahomes into your top 5.
Yeah,
now.
Mahomes,
and then that 5 spot.
John Elway.
You have John Elway, you have Dan Marino in there. Brett Favre's in that area. I bet a lot of people would say Johnny Unitas.
Or like Roger Staubach.
Roger Staubach's probably a little further down than top 5. Maybe in that like 8 to 10 range.
Yeah.
Steve Young is in the area. But look, I haven't watched. Clearly, I didn't watch Johnny Unitas play. But everyone who talks about him, Fran Tarkington, how could we forget?
Yeah. There's so many guys who I don't.
I would say though that a lot of people in their top 4 should have Brady, Manning, Montana, and Mahomes. Right?
Yeah.
How would you order that right now?
I'd go Brady. Brady clear cut number 1. And I think he'll remain that for a while. Montana 2, Mahomes 3, Peyton 4.
Really?
Yeah, Peyton.
You would put Mahomes or Peyton Manning?
I put Mahomes over Peyton right now. Yeah.
He has more Super Bowls.
I mean, Mahomes.
Really?
You could argue being number 2 right now.
You could, from the talent perspective. How many MVPs did Peyton win? 4?
A
5?
lot. Yeah, a lot. Peyton was amazing.
Maybe Mahomes has 2 right now.
But Mahomes is also 28 years old.
I know. I feel like you might project Mahomes to be 2. I would have Manning over Mahomes right now still.
Maybe Mahomes on his way to being ahead of Peyton. Maybe that's a little of a stretch right now.
Peyton Manning or Patrick Mahomes is a good.
Yeah, people could debate that. People could debate that.
Peyton Manning or Patrick Mahomes.
And Mahomes will be better.
Merle, he asks, how does Jack feel about the Arthur Smith hire?
What's up, Merle? I'd rate it like a B. I think what we want out of him is to have what he did back with Tennessee. I wasn't low with Atlanta, 7 and 10 back to back seasons, and he had some decent talent. But look back at Tennessee. They had one of the better offenses in the league, and I know they had Derrick Henry, but they had one of the better offenses in the league for his tenure there with a very average quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know he likes to run the football. Like, he likes to run the football, establish the run. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, 2 good running backs behind what's going to be an improved offensive line. I think we have a good personnel to fit what he likes to do. 2 big tight ends in Darnell Washington and Jesse James. We're going to utilize the play action out of the run game. I think Russ is a good play action quarterback. We got a deep threat in George Pickens. He can kind of play that A.J. Brown role to the best of his ability, hopefully. I think the personnel with what he had in Tennessee matches up similar to what he has in Pittsburgh.
It is fairly similar.
I think it's very similar. And I think with the personnel we have is a very good fit for him. So I'd give it about a B. I don't love it, but I didn't hate it at all. Like, I think he can take us to that potential, and Matt Canada couldn't.
Arthur Smith got a lot of hate for his time in Atlanta, where, rightfully so. The team didn't perform well.
Also, Tyler Algier went over 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah,
like Tyler Algier also was second in the league in yards after contact behind Derrick Henry. The best part of Najee and Jalen Warren's game is yards after contact.
Well, here's the thing. The other thing to keep in mind is when you're dealing with, look at the quarterback situation in Atlanta. I mean, how many guys are going to come in there and make that offense look amazing? I understand that people got upset with his usage of the skill players, but there's only so much you can do. Like, I'd like to see the best offensive coordinators in the game go in and deal with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke and that. Like, yeah, I mean, Heineke's okay, but
Mariota.
He was dealt a tricky card there. Even though the skill position players everyone always talks about, when you don't have a quarterback who's a top 10 guy in the league,
36-year-old Matt Ryan,
and not even top 10, we're talking about 24 to 32 in the league.
36-year-old Matt Ryan he had for a year.
Yeah, that's a tough hand to be dealt.
I mean, what he did in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill, like a very average quarterback.
Tannehill looked good.
Was good. He was very efficient.
Yeah.
Like, they ran the ball well. The play action was set up. I know you have Derrick Henry, but I do think it's a similar structure in Pittsburgh to what he had in Tennessee.
No Deontay now. Gonna need to probably get another receiver.
Yeah. I was upset by that. I was actually surprised that I thought he'd be on the team. But I like the hire. I'd say it's a B plus.
A B plus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's just solid.
Yeah.
Solid move.
I like it.
And last one here from Dan Stewart. Dan Stewart. Hopefully I got the pronunciation right. He says, "Hey guys, football question. What are some rule changes you would be in favor of for the NFL?" And here's a fun question as well.
Rule changes.
Rule changes. You know, the one that's often talked about is fumbling out of the end zone. Do you like that one or no?
I think that's so stupid.
Really? Because I think it's super annoying. When Jefferson did it against the Eagles this year, I wanted to put my fist through a wall.
I mean,
but I kind of get it. You know, it's like
I
should just go to the one.
I think it should go to like your own 10-yard line, but you should keep the ball. I actually like that. If you fumble, if you're sticking the ball over the goal line and you fumble out of the end zone, there should be no world it's the other team's ball. They didn't recover the fumble.
Well, don't fumble.
If people, don't fumble. But
I actually like yours going to the 10.
The defense has to recover the fumble to get the ball. Like, they shouldn't be relying on you fumbling out of the end zone to get the ball on their own 20-yard line. I think the team who fumbled should get it on their own 10. That should be the rule.
That's not bad. Maybe 15 or something.
Yeah, but like the other team shouldn't get the ball.
And what do you think of overtime? Did you like it in the playoffs? I like it.
Oh, everyone gets the ball. You get a chance for the ball regardless of a touchdown. Yeah. Yes, both teams should have the ball regardless of a touchdown. Yeah,
but I wouldn't do that in regular season. It's just I believe it's still in regular season touchdown wins.
The regular season just touchdown wins.
I'm okay with that.
But I think I'd switch that.
I loved it for the playoffs. Both teams, like playoff games, I'm fine. Go as long as you want. I kind of like the current rules.
What happens in like a meaningful week 17, week 18 game?
It's a good point.
Like when if you're playing for the division and it goes to overtime, the score is 42-35.
Play some damn defense.
I mean, it's hard when you're gassed at that point. Remember that Josh Allen Mahomes?
Play some damn defense. You know how the Bills could have won that game? Stop Mahomes with 13 seconds and no timeouts.
They didn't.
That was very.
But you're telling me if Josh Allen then got the ball, he wasn't going to go score. Like, I think there should be equal opportunity in overtime.
Oh yeah, that was Bills probably would have won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
with the way they were playing.
Both teams should have the ball in OT.
Buffalo's hosting the AFC Championship game. If they win it, they get the Rams, who good team, but man, I think Buffalo would have. Oh, that's gotta be so painful. Fun question: are you excited for the upcoming college football video game? Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you, Dan.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to take a team like Akron to the college football playoff. Yeah,
I had the old one with Denard Robinson. Like I think that was the last one, 13 or 12, whatever it was, maybe 14, with Denard Robinson on the cover of it. And I mean, I'm excited to see it come out. I can't remember. I don't know if they're doing. I'm not sure if they're doing names on the back. Probably not. Oh, maybe. I don't know, with name, image, likeness now. I haven't looked into it too much, but a show that I've helped produce at the Volume is Snaps, with T-Bob, Hebert, and Aaron Murray. And, I'm in a group chat with those guys. Super nice dudes. And we're talking about whether or not they'll be in like a Legends category, perhaps. T-Bob was the highest rated center, I think, in the game.
I mean, Aaron Murray's one of the better QBs in SEC history.
Oh, I remember growing up. I haven't said it to Aaron, but I remember growing up. Like, Aaron Murray is one of the central college football quarterbacks of my childhood.
Yeah, like in my mind. If you bring up the words college football to me when I was younger, like Aaron Murray.
And you think Georgia? It's
like
Aaron
Murray pops into my head. Yeah, he was awesome.
Unfortunately, I didn't really know T-Bob at center. Well, you saw T-Bob, I think.
I saw him. Yeah, I saw him
a couple times, maybe, right?
I saw him play once at Alabama in the quote-unquote game of the century. I'm pretty sure he was a center.
Great dudes. Yeah, really good dudes. But I think they 100% should be in as Legends. 100%.
Yeah, they should.
That'd be really cool to see them in that game.
I think T-Bob won that game 9-6 in overtime.
T-Bob won that game. T-Bob did himself. Yes.
He did, yes.
Yeah. Great blocking. Great blocking in the was the big play was the interception, right? And the punt. Nope, the punt.
The Honey Badger had a big pick.
Remember the punt? Like the 80-yard punt?
Yeah, down like the 2-yard line.
Play, maybe the greatest play I've ever seen in football.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
All right, that'll do it here. I guess we'll release the NFC North thing as a separate 15 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. We'll wrap it up here. Thanks again to everyone who listened to this episode. Without Ziggy, if you stuck around, God bless you, because it's just me and Jack for 35 minutes.
We held the fort down though, right?
Yeah,
I think we held the fort down, all right?
Yeah, we did the best we could. We'll see you next week with Ziggy back. Hopefully Zach back. on the Paul Farrington Show. See you.